Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and before we dive into this breaking and controversial development, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video so that everyone stays ahead of the latest political twists and turns shaking Zimbabwe. Tonight, we are dealing with a decision that has stunned citizens, angered health workers, and set social media on fire. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has announced that starting tomorrow, all hospitals in Herrera Province will be placed under full lockdown, a drastic move that is already being called one of the most aggressive health-related crackdowns in recent history. This is not your usual lockdown where patients and staff move in and out under controlled measures. This is a complete sealing off of every hospital in the province, meaning no visitors, no new admissions unless cleared by the military, and extremely limited movement of staff. Ambulances will operate under strict escort, and all non-emergency medical procedures have been postponed indefinitely. The government claims this measure is to protect the integrity of the healthcare system following a reported surge in an unspecified infectious outbreak in the area, but many believe this is only part of the story. According to official statements from the Ministry of Health, there have been sudden spikes in cases of a mysterious illness that has not yet been fully identified. Reports speak of patients developing severe symptoms in a matter of hours, overwhelming local hospitals. The president's announcement framed this lockdown as a necessary, decisive step to contain the spread and to prevent what he described as the national health catastrophe. But away from the official narrative, whispers are emerging about political motives, cover-ups, and deepening mistrust between communities and the state. Herrera Province has been a politically sensitive area for years, with strong opposition support and frequent protests against the government's policies. Some opposition figures are already claiming this hospital lockdown is less about public health and more about political control, especially given that it comes just weeks after reports of doctors and nurses in Herrera refusing to work without better pay and supplies. In their view, Mnangagwa might be sending a warning to the entire health sector: comply with the state's rules or face closure. For ordinary citizens, the impact of this decision is already being felt even before it takes effect. Families with loved ones in hospitals are panicking, fearing they may not be able to see them for weeks or even months. Pregnant women who were planning to deliver in Herrera's main maternity wards are now scrambling to find alternatives in neighboring provinces. Those suffering from chronic illnesses such as diabetes or cancer are worried about missing critical treatments. The sense of uncertainty is spreading faster than any disease, and in a nation where healthcare access is already stretched to breaking point, this lockdown feels like another blow to the most vulnerable. Health workers themselves are caught between fear and frustration. Some doctors, speaking anonymously, have expressed outrage that they were not properly consulted before the sweeping measure was announced. They claim that the situation could have been managed with tighter infection controls, more resources, and rapid testing rather than shutting down entire hospitals. Others, however, say that given the rapid spread of the illness, the lockdown may be the only way to break the chain of transmission, especially with limited equipment and overcrowded wards. Then there's the question of enforcement. The government has already deployed military units to Herrera, not just to guard the hospitals, but also to control surrounding streets, monitor traffic, and stop any unauthorized gatherings. That level of militarization has alarmed human rights groups, who argue that this is turning a health crisis into a security operation. The fear is that once soldiers are placed in such a position of control, the line between public health measures and political policing becomes dangerously blurred. Economically, the decision could have ripple effects far beyond healthcare. Herrera's small businesses that rely on hospital visitors, food stalls, pharmacies, transport operators, will be hit hard. The sudden disruption in medical services could push patients into expensive private care or force them to travel long distances, increasing costs for already struggling families. Social media is awash with heated debates, conspiracy theories, and desperate pleas. Some users are demanding full transparency from the government, calling for independent health experts to be allowed into Herrera to assess the situation. Others, especially in pro-government circles, are praising Mnangagwa for taking swift and decisive action, arguing that it's better to overreact than risk a national disaster. The polarization is intense, with truth becoming harder to separate from speculation. One of the most troubling questions is, why has the government refused to name the illness affecting Herrera? The Ministry of Health has said that lab results are pending, but critics say the secrecy fuels fear and undermines trust. In past outbreaks, delays in public disclosure have led to panic, misinformation, and even violent protests. If the disease is as dangerous as officials suggest, some argue, then the rest of the country has a right to know immediately so they can prepare. Internationally, the move is attracting attention as well. Health organizations are quietly monitoring developments, with some suggesting they may offer assistance if the government requests it. But given Zimbabwe's strained relations with certain foreign powers and its reluctance to accept outside scrutiny, it's unclear whether such offers will be accepted. For now, all eyes are on Herrera. By tomorrow, its hospitals will be locked down, its patients sealed inside under military watch, and its citizens left to hope that this is truly about health and not politics. Mnangagwa has taken a bold gamble. If the outbreak is contained, he will be able to claim a decisive victory and perhaps silence critics who say his government is slow to act. But if the lockdown leads to unnecessary suffering, avoidable deaths, and a deeper public backlash, it could become another symbol of the state's heavy-handed approach and lack of transparency. In Zimbabwe's tense and unpredictable political climate, such measures are never purely about one thing. Health, politics, power, they all intersect, and the people are left navigating the consequences. Tomorrow, Herrera steps into an uncertain future behind hospital gates that may protect them from disease, or lock them into a far more complex struggle. One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and the days ahead will reveal whether this was a life-saving move or a dangerous overreach.